Hello, everyone. My name is Maxim Sukhanosik, and I'm a host of the Synopsis Summit and the host of this panel discussion today. So I'm a co-founder of Synopsis and Coindar.org. So really glad to see you guys here, like our audience and our speakers. So this panel discussions is topic is NFT, past, present, and future. So let me start from introducing like our pleasant speakers. So the first is Wes Levitt, Director of Strategy at Teta Network. Next one is Alexander Filatov, like founder of Everscale. Next one is Evgeny Lazav, ex-Kava, trader #1 according to TradingView. Hi, Evgeny. Then is Alexander Shedogubov, CEO at Envelop. And the last but not least is Julia Bulak, marketing at wNFT. So hello, everyone. Are you ready for this panel?
Yeah, thanks for having us, Maxim.
Yeah, I hope so. So yeah, let me start then. So the first question is, blockchain started in 2019 and it's almost 13 years old now. So are NFTs developing faster? And is this industry more mature than blockchain in 2014 or mobile internet in 2001? So I just want to see your guys like historical perspective of it. And let's start from Wes.
Yeah, I do see the NFT market moving significantly faster than blockchain did, certainly in its early days. I think part of that's because people realize how much potential, or comparing it to how much potential blockchain had, it didn't have the first 3 or 4 years where it was really just some really dedicated technical folks looking into this and most mainstream people not paying attention to it at all. So even though NFTs, I don't know that they've necessarily technically developed that much faster, the adoption curve has been way steeper. I mean, NFTs have only been in the sort of the eye of the crypto space for maybe 2 or 3 years, significantly. But you've already got Visa adopting it. You've got every Hollywood actor and musician looking at doing NFTs. So that's way beyond where you were in, say, the equivalent would be 2012 in Bitcoin, where the vast majority of people still had never even heard of it. So I don't know that they've delivered on the promise necessarily yet the way blockchain has as a whole, but they're definitely getting invested in by institutions much faster, and they're getting, they've made it to the mainstream a lot quicker than blockchain did.
Okay, thanks for your perspective and for your point of view. So move to the next speaker is Alexander Filatov. So Alexander, what is your opinion?
Yeah, I kind of fully agree with that, of course. The only point is I don't see NFT kind of separate from the blockchain. For me, it's just another version of the token. You know, there is a fungible, there is a non-fungible token. But answering your question, of course, the adoption happens much faster simply because there has been like a certain platform built by, fungible tokens. And also for another couple of reasons. One is it brought a whole new class of participants into the space. You know, authors, musicians, it makes more sense and it's instantly available for B2C segment, because blockchain was more like, for decentralization enthusiasts, for traders, and this is more kind of mainstream. And also another large point, as Wes already mentioned, is large brands like many of them, there are hundreds of examples from Nike and, and Playboy to whatever, are finding a lot of sense to use the technology and to use NFTs to promote something, and it's accelerating. And then of course the arrival of big IT with metaverses like Facebook and large gaming companies like Roblox and the others are also adding another large segment, because NFTs can be used there for artifacts, for DeFi can be used as part of the financial system within the metaverse. So that's adding a new big chunk. That's why the whole thing grows fast.
Okay, it was pretty a long answer and interesting to hear. So Evgeny, what do you think as a trader?
Hello guys. This industry is growing fast, but I'm trader, and for me this industry unknown area. So I'm glad to listen to another participate of this conference, so I really don't know too much about NFT. For me, it's just picture right now, but I see a big potential for like use this use NFT in other like
Field.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got it. I mean, anyway, it's interesting. Yeah, I know you're not like actually from the NFT space, but I mean, so it's really valuable to hear from a trader because it's for you, NFT is just picture. It's really valuable for me, first of all, because I also like kind of have a big skepsis about the NFT industry as well. Okay, so how about you, Alexander? Because you like the technology you bring into this market is pretty new and it's pretty revolutionary. So can you speak some?
Yeah, so we do the tech like just for the guys like Eugene, as we talked to one exchange. So we offer new functionality for NFTs to make them functional, sustainable, self-sufficient. So the idea is to make them a kind of economical tool set, not just like pictures as we see now, to work with liquidity, to make liquidity transfers cross-chain and plenty other functionalities. And so when we communicated with one of the exchanges, so they said that our technology is a nice tool to convert traders like Eugene to NFT buyers. When they get NFT, understandable that they get assets on the line inside, they get different blocks, some economical models to collect value inside, to distribute royalties and so on. And as for general in NFTs, I think that it's a big move because they let us have originals, digital originals, and understand which is original, which is copy, and never mind it's picture, it's liquidity, or it's the plot of land in metaverse and so on.
Okay, so moving to like the last speaker for today is Julia, and she's a representative of an exchange. So it would be also interesting to hear like what are people from exchanges thinking. Julia.
Hi, thanks a lot for having me here. So yeah, I do represent an infrastructure built for traders, but from being a centralized trading infrastructure, we're currently expanding into DeFi and into DAO. So personally, I have been looking into NFTs regarding like to support our marketing efforts. So I really like what Alexander just said, that trading stocks, trading cryptocurrencies, and trading NFTs are like absolutely different things. Like when we say that trading NFTs, we more refer to like one-time flipping thing. It's not like you do technical analysis, you do more of a fundamental research to earn on NFTs. Regarding the industry itself, so I do agree that of course, like we can see that it's moving very fast. We see like a very rapid adoption, and probably to sum up, I have two more points why this is happening. First is the entry point to is very, very low. So NFTs are accessible to everybody, and not only to buy NFTs, right, but to create NFTs. Like literally anything in the world can be turned into NFT. Like any kind of art, anything that exists in the real world can be tokenized with NFT. And the second thing is, there are plenty of there are plenty of variants for utility. Like if we compare to fungible tokens, right? Like Bitcoin and Ethereum, we know that one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, and like different altcoins, they have different utility scenarios. While in scenarios to utilize NFTs are almost limitless because we can see many more ways how they can be used in the real world, or in like ways to make money, or in DeFi for like lending and staking, or giving digital credentials, or like giving people VIP access to something, right? So yeah, probably these are the two main factors of adoption for me.
Okay. Thanks for your answer. And we are moving to a second question. So on blockchain, the one who minted an NFT is owner by default, right? So what are the effective ways to protect original works from being claimed by non-authors and non-copyright holders? Yeah, as usual, let's start from Wes. Wes, what is your opinion? Hey, Wes, can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry, I just had to get off mute there. Yeah, so I mean, the entity itself you're getting is only is really only the token on the blockchain, not the art or the work it's attributed to. At least until there's a reliable way that you can put that that piece of art or that object you're associating it with also on chain. But if it's just a marker pointing to a JPEG hosted on Imgur or something, then there really is no way to protect that. And someone who doesn't care about the NFT in the first place and just wants the picture, there's nothing you can do to stop them from taking that. I think the way of protecting the value of the NFT, though, is you make it so the platforms where it's usable enforce whether it's the correct NFT or not. So a couple quick examples, like on Twitter, I understand that for PFPs, they're starting to do something like a blue check system where it'll show differently if you have the genuine one that Twitter verifies on the back end is the correct NFT. Or in the case of, like, say it's an NFT that grants you access to a part of a metaverse, like a certain realm or something like that, that game or that metaverse enforces whether you have the correct one or not. And so I guess that what I'm getting at is I think the theme is it'll not be on the users to sit there and figure out is this the correct one or not. The different gateways to where you're going to use it, those are the ones that'll check on the back end and say, we've got a database, or we can check on chain which are the actual ones that were issued. Does this user's NFT line up to that? And so it doesn't matter if you have one that looks just like it and has the same picture. It'll be enforced by the different use cases to make sure you have the valid NFT.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. It's like such a professional opinion as usual. Interesting to hear. Move forward. Alexander, what do you think?
Yeah, I fully agree with Wes. I mean, if we're talking about the media itself, like
as always, actually.
But it's just we're kind of from the same space, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just want to build on top, really, because I don't want to repeat. So if we're talking about the media itself, which is just part of the NFT, you also have interface and metadata, that if you've chosen to show your media to the world on OpenSea or something, then how can you protect it? Anybody can, copy paste, take a picture, whatever. So in that sense, it's not really protectable. If you've chosen to show it, you don't have to. I mean, you can own NFT of something and not show it to the world. Mint it yourself with one of the networks and then keep it yourself. If we're talking about storage, for example, which is a slightly different point, then most of the media is stored today on whatever IPFS or one of the clouds. That's kind of sensitive because that means that your NFT is actually sitting in a centralized environment, not in a decentralized environment. Talking about the clouds, for example. So the arrival of of storage work chains on some of the networks, like we're coming up soon at Everscale with a drive chain, where it would be economically effective to store the NFT. That will help to address the storage issue. And then my last remark is that again, they would be stored in the decentralized environment and protected more in that sense. And the third comment I had was, again, if we're looking at NFT in a wider space, for example, programmable tickets as NFT, or real estate, tokenized real estate as NFT, then the media point actually disappears because it's not becoming important. Other aspects of the NFT become more important than the protecting media itself.
Yeah, appreciate. So I guess this kind of question gonna be like a little bit hard for our next speaker since he's a trader. So let's give it for this time and move to next speaker, Alexander Shedogubov. So Alexander, can you share your opinion with us?
Yes, so about originality, there are a lot of projects and how to execute this proof of authority. So we've seen that Vitalik offered kind of soul tokens. So for example, in our solution, we see that there is opportunity, for example, the creator can create some limited edition of his tokens and he can drop one of his tokens into his artwork. So thus he can mark the NFT to be original one, and no copies can be done because he got the whole emission of his tokens. So we can offer such simple solution. So we wrap NFT, it's original one, the creator drops his ERC20, for example, inside, and it proves that this is the real original in digital, and no other copies can be used as original one. Kind of that.
Okay, like such a sharp answer. So how about Julia?
Okay, I think that it's actually very, very interesting question because it involves some regulatory issues, right? And as we see, like NFTs are completely not regulated now. And here, I think it's important to distinguish what copyright is and what NFT is. And like, if we make it simple, a copyright is what protects the creator's work and actual efforts. And NFT is more indicator of the ownership. So these are like totally different things, right? And so I think in future, there will be very interesting research, very interesting some innovations regarding how these two concepts interact with each other, right? The copyright of creators and ownership of an asset, of a tokenized asset. But as for now, I see that decentralized storage is what will actually happen. Well, I think it's already happening, right? It didn't do deep research on that, but decentralized storage is what we will see massively adopted by OpenSea, Rarible, and other websites, because well, that's one of the good ways to prove what is authentic, what is not authentic. Because yeah, as the previous speakers mentioned before, that keeping something that represents an NFT, represents the token, and in like centralized storage like hosting or a cloud is very vulnerable as for now.
Yeah, appreciate. So and let's move forward for a third question. So there is a point of view that until NFTs enter like a real economy, that's what some of you guys already mentioned, they won't be considered seriously for anything apart from speculation, which is kind of true in my opinion. And what are the potential use cases in real economy of NFTs? We actually already mentioned it, like some financial NFTs and vouchers. So anyway, it would be cool to hear your opinions, guys. And let's start from Wes.
Yeah, the first one that I always bring to mind is ticketing, because I think it's very well fit for NFTs. There's a project working on in our ecosystem already called MetaPass, and it solves a lot of problems they have in the ticketing space. It makes it easily transferable between users online, but in a way that is more trustworthy. Versus if you ever tried to buy a festival pass and you had to figure out whether to send money to someone without knowing who they are around the world, without knowing if you get the ticket back. This is a perfect example of how you could do this through a smart contract, and you only get the ticket once you pay the money and vice versa. Plus, it gets rid of any fake tickets floating out there as well, since it's verifiable. It came from the right smart contract. So I think that's a really cool one. And then also this is a little earlier, but some people are doing some cool things around NFTs for identity, where it might be your unique identifier that's in your crypto wallet that you use for accessing like a government service, because it replaces your ID or maybe your bank account or something like that. And I like both of those also because they're things that you can't really speculate on the price of these. They're really NFTs used under the hood, but they're not something you would go out and buy per se as an NFT to speculate on. So I think just by the nature of them, that'll be one that those type of use cases will get us away from so much the price speculation is happening, because no one's going to price speculate on the idea of someone or something. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And I actually totally agree about like a ticketing, and that's what we already can see for the Synopsis as well. Like what we done together, like like Theta Pass and stuff. So yeah, it's working really good. And I mean, this what already working, so it's kind of cool. But anyway, I mean, just like my personal opinion, I want to see NFT like to get more utility, like in financial space, like as a vouchers, and just become something more valuable. So yeah, move to Alexander. So what do you think?
Yeah, we also have the ticketing use case in our ecosystem called DPass. I'm also pretty hot on identity. Besides that, maybe building on some more. Obviously, we also the emergence of play to earn. First with Axie Infinity taking off last year, and this year with StepN, and then 20 more play to earn, move to earn, or whatever projects. And there'll be more, do something to earn stuff coming up, like learn to earn, where maybe there is less space for NFT, but still, even in the play to earn segment, I mean, shoes as NFTs in StepN is one, I think, good example, striking example. And there'll be more stuff happening in gaming with NFT, obviously. I will also mention that I already did, that the large consumer brands like Nike and Playboy and all of the other ones are finding, and obviously the luxury industry, are finding ways for people to own NFT shoes in the metaverse, or NFT Gucci bag, or whatever. That's also becoming big. It's quite simple. Obviously, it's not as sophisticated as the ticketing, but that might become big simply due to the sheer power of those corporations and consumer reach. All of them have tens or hundreds of millions of followers. And then another one I would mention is this whole space of kind of fan engagement and gamification in sports, particularly, in music partially as well. We saw Sorare in France, taking off massively, which is a fantasy football using NFTs, Messi and Ronaldo, etc. And then, of course, there are quite a few use cases about tokenization of football clubs, where NFTs are sometimes also used in the use case. So, yeah, those would be a couple of more that I would mention. And I mentioned real estate. It's a little bit messy in terms of regulation, so it's not yet clear what exactly real estate would be, whether it would be fungible or non-fungible. Of course, non-fungible makes more sense, but I'm actually watching that tokenization of real estate quite closely, because I think that one might take off and partially disrupt this conservative real estate industry, subject to regulation.
Yeah, agreed actually. And regarding like the real estate, as I heard, like the state, like the government of Georgia is already using it. Not sure that you heard about it, but you can just actually like buy the real estate like as a foreigner, even as a foreigner, just like using Bitcoin blockchain. So they're just using this to give you some like to purchasing some like, what should I say, like document, which is a proving that you like holding this, like you're a holder of this real estate, like you're the holder of this apartment and stuff. So which is pretty cool that some states are already also like using the blockchain technology. But I not like actually agree with you about the part for the football clubs and stuff. Just not sure that they really need NFTs, because all of this like card stuff, they existed before. And I mean, like even like in a paper, like what should I say, like in a paper. So I mean, I'm not sure that we need it for that. But anyway, thanks for your opinion. So how about next speaker, Alexander? It's going to be really interesting to hear it from you, since the project like you're doing, it's kind of, as I just said, is going to change the whole industry. So can you share your opinion with us? What do you think?
Yeah, so I should say about real estate, because And we are now in process of integration with one project. And these guys are going in collaboration with local government as well. So I'm now located in Indonesia, and they plan also to provide fully legal for any NFT sales of land, of buildings on their land, rental mechanics as well. So we plan to integrate our protocol to execute this financial stuff and also to redistribute any government payments or royalty payments if they will take part in that. So for real estate, yeah, we see big potential, and also it's not about only real estate, but land as well. And for other use cases, we see the potential in licensing IDs, special rights, where NFT will stand for that and will prove that, for example, the owner of this wallet had the special rights. It could be used like in professional skills, in game skills, and also we can have an options to make NFTs non-transferable. Like the only owner can have this right and not other wallet can be transferred.
Okay, so how about Julia?
Okay, I see two interesting scenarios for NFT. First of all, again, linking NFTs to trading, to like probably even more centralized trading, where NFTs would be used as tokenized trading strategies or tokenized indexes, right? So you can trade NFTs as normal assets, as cryptocurrency, or another scenario is when you're holding NFT, you're getting rewards on that trading strategy, for example. But that use case links to giving you a credential for something. And recently, I've been exploring DAOs a lot, decentralized autonomous organizations. And what we found is giving people who are contributing to a certain ecosystem decentralized credentials is vital to run an organization that kind of exists on blockchains. Like having a company only in on blockchain for now, like all the financial processes are on the blockchain, and possibly later on in Web3 and metaverse. And so what my point is, when someone contributes to earn or works in the DAO to earn, his or her record of work needs to be tracked. And there are companies that are building full decentralized CRM systems, let's say so, that gives people or their wallets, right? Their decentralized wallets, credentials, and in the form of NFTs. Yeah, one of the companies that we're collaborating with is Project Galaxy. It's a very good example of building the decentralized credential ecosystem. So, right, first is giving the credentials to contributors, to early DeFi adopters, for example, then NFTs used for trading. And I think that the most common use case that we would see in trading space evolving more and more is using NFTs as a collateral for lending or earning yield on staking and farming NFTs.
Oh yeah, I didn't know actually about it. So thanks for giving us some some notice. Yeah. So moving forward for next question, and it's gonna be like less crypto and maybe more ecology. So like ecological question. So as everyone knows, that Ethereum, where most NFTs are issued, consumes more power than the Switzerland. So it means that NFTs have a really huge carbon footprint, which is really like sensitive topic it's these days, right? So Ethereum 2 was set to solve the power issue, but it's postponed time and time again. So how to make NFTs and blockchain, they run on environmentally friendly? And is proof of stake the only way? So do you have any ideas about it actually? Let's start from Ves.
I don't know of any other ways so far, but proof of stake, I do think mostly solves that problem. Maybe someone who has a better, more at the deeper at the protocol level would know more, but I think that more or less gets us there. I mean, Theta already is proof of stake, and Alexander, I assume Everscale is as well, correct me if I'm wrong. Tezos, Solana, almost everyone really issuing NFTs already is at proof of stake. It's a little bit frustrating Ethereum isn't, because we constantly get pushback from people thinking that their NFTs in general are not environmentally friendly, and they don't distinguish between us and Ethereum, especially if they're not very crypto educated. They don't understand the difference, but I think that'll get better with time. And it's been a long wait, but we're slowly making progress toward E 2.0. And once that moves to proof of stake, I think that'll pretty much put the problem to bed.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope we will see some changes in the future. So how about you, Alexander?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess you have a lot of
first of all, it's only Bitcoin and Ethereum that have proof of work. And Bitcoin is of course not in the NFT space because it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's more of a store of value. And Ethereum, there's been a lot of conversion away from Ethereum. We saw that Solana beat Ethereum, I think, a couple of weeks ago on the NFT trading volumes. So, and Ethereum will move. I was actually surprised the delay, because from my observations, I saw the merge and the move to POS happened successfully on the Ethereum testnet. So I don't know why they decided to take more time. That was a surprise for me personally. So I'm hoping it will happen still this year, and we'll basically forget about this issue, except for Bitcoin, which is I don't believe there is a solution to do anything on Bitcoin. And again, it's not an Ethereum.
Mm-hmm. But do you think that we're gonna have something more than proof of stake, like in your perspective?
There are modifications, like in our network, we don't have proof of stake per se. We have our own version of consensus. We have multi-threading. We're extremely low on consumption of energy. So it's just it's just going to be evolution. With more networks coming up, there'll be more and more, I think, efficient, scalable, environmentally friendly. So it's evolution.
Okay, great. So moving to our next Alexander Shedogubov. So what is your opinion?
So my opinion, maybe not popular, but I think that this talks about ecology, and this mainly it's to divide the market, the mining market, about Bitcoin and so on. So in general, I've read some research on this stuff. So it's not damaging as much as it's shown in media, and it's like bad marketing when it's needed. And of course, these new technologies will have new types of consensus, but we see that Solana drops down practically every month. And so when it interacts with money, we need a kind of source of truth. And for example, this proof of work can stay a kind of oracle for other proof of stakes and proof of any other consensus that could be, and they definitely will remain. And I think big guys are just splitting up the market and trying to get more BTC. So that's it. It's all about money, I think.
Yeah, as you said, like your opinion is not that popular, but I guess I agree with you more than like with any others, because I also heard the opinion that it's just like some big guys who is like making a really bad marketing, like black marketing for Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff. So saying it's like so not eco-friendly and stuff, like they're just damaging our environment and so on, which is not true. So anyway, we will see in the future. Last speaker, Julia. So Julia, what is your opinion?
Well, I don't think that eco-friendliness is a huge problem, because these talks were all the time, right? And all the time humanity was looking for some solutions, came up for some solutions for other technologies, right? Because we can talk about that every single industry is not not eco-friendly. In terms of NFTs and Ethereum, like personally, I would love to see more solutions on other blockchains apart from Ethereum. But the truth is, for now, that despite the high fees and everyone's complaining about gas and all the issues on Ethereum, it still remains the main the main platform where like the majority of NFTs are minted. Like it didn't change so far. So what I think is the future is cross-chain solutions, because imagine if I'm holding NFT on Ethereum, another blockchain doesn't even recognize that I'm the owner of that. But like this is, I think this is not acceptable in the Web3 we're all trying to build here. So the first thing that might move NFTs, I don't mean like maybe not move, but make some changes to this NFT market, NFT industry, is how the blockchains can interact in terms of transferring NFTs from chain to chain and recognizing NFTs. Then some part of power that is used by the Ethereum network will also move to other blockchains.
Great. So we are moving like for the second part of our panel discussion today. And the next question is going to be more NFT concentrated. So do you guys think that NFT transaction might be reversible? So let's start from the West.
I don't know. I mean, I can definitely see why there's cases where you want it reversible. You know, with our own NFT platform, there's been a lot of times where, you know, a user makes a mistake, they send it the wrong place and they wish it was reversible. So that's always a frustrating customer experience. But I feel like you're getting away from what makes blockchain if you can just reverse the transactions. Plus, who's going to hold that power to do that then? I would think if we had the power to reverse NFT transactions on Theta blockchain, it would be pretty quickly they would stop using us.
Oh, okay. So how about you, Alexander? Do you agree with Wes this time?
I have nothing to add to this. This is not blockchain. If we'll start reversing transactions, it's something else. I mean, we'll remember the 2015 Ethereum story, but that's which led to a split of the network. But that's a different point. Yeah, I don't think transactions should be reversible, either fungible or non-fungible.
Okay, so let's ask like a trader perspective. So Evgeny, do you have any ideas or opinions about this topic?
I'm agree with Alexander, because it's blockchain, and you know, we have a lot of smart people in our industry, in our field, even in our conference. I think they will find how to apply NFT, and but I think transaction should be not reversible.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. So what about you, Alexander?
I also totally agree with previous speakers, because it's the sense of blockchain, because yeah, sometimes it happens, but be attentive. It's only up to you. And so anyway, I don't think there are lots of scam patterns if we can make transactions reversible, because I know there are solutions and EIPs formats that offer that in some cases the transaction can be reversed and NFT returned back, but that's a very questionable thing.
Okay. So and the last speaker is Julia. What do you think?
Let me be more
agree with everyone, right?
No. I think that because, as I said, the utility possibilities are limitless, then I'd probably be on more flexible side. That if there is a suitable use case for making a reversible transaction, and it suits the project, it suits its purpose, it has all the security measures, then why not? But it's like very, very subjective, and it depends on where it's used. So
Okay, I appreciate you guys would like okay. Have the same opinion for this one. So anyway, moving forward. So do you agree that currently NFT is mostly like money chasing money? Wes?
Definitely felt like that's mostly what it's been the last, I don't know, 18, 24 months. Not exclusively. I think there's a lot of people that are just genuinely collect for the enjoyment of it. But yeah, it's been a lot of speculation. I don't think it's necessarily always a bad thing though, because a lot of that is what drives new creativity and new projects along the way, and it funds developers. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but I think all that speculation usually ends up with a lot of good things being built too. So it's a net positive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about you, Alexander?
Started like that, which is so obvious. I mean, obvious that it would, because money is something that a lot of people get attracted to, but it's evolving. I mean, already looking at this move to earn stuff like StepN, StepApp, etc., many other coming up. It's kind of already halfway. It's not that much speculation, even contributing to some healthy habits like walking around to make money. Of course, it's still. I mean, they
I can disagree with this one.
The StepN team called at the conference last month called their tokenomics Ponzinomics. I guess we all read that, but still, it's kind of halfway already from a personal standpoint. It's not totally speculative. There is some sense in there, and then all of the real world use cases that we talked about, ticketing, real estate, that's moving it from the non-speculative space into more institutional space.
Okay, so I have a question for you, just like personal question. Do you buy NFTs? If yes, for what?
Yeah. I mean, I was one of the first buyers back in October 29, I think, 2017, for the CryptoKitties, just for the sake of fun. Sold them very cheap. It was stupid. I was early in some other ones. Didn't get the CryptoPunk. I'm trying all the play to earn stuff. XC, StepN, I think I was one of the first customers. So if that's considered the purchase of NFT, yes. But I'm not obviously buying, some crazy, shouldn't give any names, not to offend any projects, but some let's call it a picture of something for $300,000. No, I'm not doing that stuff.
I see. I mean, because as for me, like I personally buy an NFT not just like to make money, and if I love something, because I love art. So if I like it, so I just buy it and hold it. So yeah, but I think like the industry by itself at the moment is like mostly like money chasing money. So anyway, let's ask the next speaker, like a guy who is like know how to make this money. So without NFTs, Evgeny, what do you think?
No, I look at the situation on the market with CryptoPunk collection or Monkey or sneakers, like StepN. I'm understand that many people have made a lot of money in this market over the past 2 years, and they have started to invest in NFT. For me, this is final stage of the cycle. I think my monkey picture are overpriced. Maybe I don't understand something, but it's my opinion.
I guess you understand everything, actually. I understand it really well. Okay, I got you. So how about Alexander, the next one?
So for me, I think it's a little bit about craziness about such prices for NFTs, but we should our product thank all these guys, because we when we started the market in 2020, we saw that this hype is upcoming, and we decided that they need tools estimate the price, to hedge the price, to have a kind of minimal price guaranteed inside NFT. So that's what the basic idea now protocol, to hedge the NFT owner, that the NFT collects price inside, and the last one will not be the one who loses everything, but he can estimate his risk, that he got a minimal price that he can unwrap after all, after the hype goes out. So it's all about the tools that can help people on the risks. Yeah.
Interesting. How about Julia?
Okay, probably talking from a marketing perspective, NFTs are great for building your own brand, for setting up your own identity, just because the whole sense of NFTs is non-fungible, and there is only one unique thing that it exists. And I wouldn't agree that people are buying. Of course, like there is hype and there is speculators, but the majority, like why this hype exists and why NFTs are so popular, is that NFTs are more about chasing status and chasing your place in Web3. Because, well, if I needed a way to make money, I would buy Bitcoin. Why am I buying a JPEG, right? So I think in case of NFTs, like, yeah, it's not about money, it's more about status, it's about VIP access to something, it's about, I think it's the same as like with fashion industry, right? If I need a pair of shoes, why am I buying it, like some brand, right? It's the same thing.
I don't think it's the same, but anyway, I got your opinion.
I mean,
so,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, the technology is different. The way of thinking is a bit different. But the logic, the logic of the consumer is like it exists there.
I mean, just at the moment, in my personal opinions, that we don't see that like this level of value that NFT can provide for these prices. So that's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, like as you guys just mentioned, like monkeys and whatever. So, and you said that some NFTs are overestimated, which is true. And this is, my next question actually about it. So do you think NFT price will ever be objective? So let's start from Wes.
I think it'll just depend on what NFTs you're talking about. If it's an NFT tied to a piece of real estate that can be valued on its cash flows, and it's probably going to be pretty objective. If it's the ticketing use case we're talking about, I mean, sometimes you see ticket prices go higher because it's sold out or for a show or something, but generally they hew somewhat close to the price. And then if it's art, it could be anything, right? Because it's all subjective, whether how much you like a piece of art or how much people value it, just like art in the real world. So I guess it comes down to really, in my opinion, what does the NFT represent? And then I'll tell you how it might be valued in the future.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. And it's interesting point of view. So what about you, Alexander?
Yeah, I mean, on the real life use cases, I don't have anything to add. Of course, there'll be some tangible value behind the NFT. If we're talking about, generative collections that we've all seen, then of course it's a complex one, because how can you ensure that I mint 1,000 NFTs of whatever, and then I'm not creating multiple accounts to organize initial trading and even secondary trading and create some sort of price. You cannot really monitor or avoid that. So if people would want to manipulate prices of collections based on some sort of art, then you just cannot fight it, really. So so those ones are tough ones to correct.
Thanks. And what about you, Evgeny? What do you think? And the price?
I think people need to realize that it's NFT, and we need to survive the crypto winter. And after that, we will see live projects. As it was after 2017. Only after that we will be a fair price. I think crypto winter will end in November 2022. So in this is in end of the year. So we will see what's the
What's the
project.
real price of
But-
the NFTs?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just let's hold on, and we will see. I also agree with it. So how about Alexander? What do you think?
So I agree that after crypto winter, we'll see the real price, and also returning back to the tools that I mentioned that people need easy to use, some kind of price oracles, history oracles about the NFT prices, and sometimes maybe it's useful when we can build in such models that manipulating the prices will be expensive, so that every transaction will need to spend much more fund that can be gained. Just when we say about money, not kind of wash trading with NFTs, so selling from account to account, making price more and more and more. But when we make it that the bigger price collects inside such an NFT, so anyway they collect this price, but it will have some basis below it, so it will be not so risky as it is now. And so, for example, if you get an NFT that costs 100,000 USDT and contains a floor price inside about 100 USD, so it's questionable to buy.
Okay, thanks for sharing. And the last speaker for today, as I said, last but not least, Julia.
I agree with the previous speakers that it all depends on the utility of the NFT, and definitely the assets. Some assets were overhyped, and there's plenty of speculations and wash trading around it. So I would suggest that the most closer to the objective price would be those NFT that are connected to some technology, to Web3 building, to that would have some value in their utility, and not just a monkey or something. But for me, I don't think that NFT price needs to be objective. The whole point is let the market show the price.
Interesting, actually, because in my opinion, it should be it should be someone who can provide the criteria for for these prices and stuff, so make it more objective. Because now, I mean, for me, I mean, it's my personal opinion, to pay millions of dollars for just one picture is kind of nonsense. I mean, since it's not even in real art or something, so made by some famous artist, for example, Da Vinci, right? Like hundreds of years ago. So, anyway, that's all for today, guys, and thanks for participating in this panel discussion. I really appreciate that you found the time to join it, and I know it can be hard, to do it since we're all pretty busy and stuff. But anyway, thanks for helping and for supporting the Synopsis event. And yeah, it was really glad to see you guys today. It was Maxim Sukhanasik, co-founder of Synopsis and coindar.org. And today it was Vest Levitt, the director of strategy of Theta Network, Alexander Filatov, co-founder of Everscale, Evgeny Loza, ex-Kavo, trader #1 according to TradingView, Alexander Shedogubov, CEO at Envelop, and Julia Bula, marketing at wNFT. Thanks, everyone, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Nice talking to you.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure.
Yes, thank you, guys. Bye.